Welcome back kapatid! In this video, I will be discussing the classification of felonies. The following are the classification of felonies, according to the manner or mode by which felonies are committed. 1. Intentional felonies or dolo. The act or omission of the offender is malicious. The act is performed with deliberate intent or with malice. 2. Culpable felonies or culpa. The act or omission of the offender is not malicious. The injury caused by the offender to another person is unintentional, it being simply the incident of another act performed without malice. The wrongful act results from imprudence, negligence, lack of foresight, or lack of skill. According to the stages of commission of felonies: 1. Consummated felonies, 2. Frustrated felonies, and 3. Attempted felonies. Consummated felonies: when all of the elements necessary for its execution and accomplishment are present. Frustrated felonies: when the offender performs all the acts of execution which would produce the felony as a consequence, but which nevertheless do not produce it by reason of causes independent of the will of the perpetrator. Attempted felonies: when the offender commences the commission of a felony directly by overt acts, and does not perform all the acts of execution, which should produce the felony by reason of some cause or accident other than his own spontaneous desistance. According to the degree or gravity of commission of felonies: 1. Grave felonies, 2. Less grave felonies, 3. Light felonies. Grave felonies: grave felonies are those to which the law attaches the capital punishment or penalties, which in any of their periods are afflictive. Less grave felonies: less grave felonies are those which the law punishes with penalties which in their maximum period are correctional. Light felonies: light felonies are those infractions of law for the commission of which the penalty of arresto menor or a fine not exceeding 40,000 pesos or both is provided. According to nature: 1. Mala in se, and 2. Mala prohibita. This is already discussed in a separate video. I will put in the description box the link. According to the number of violations constituting the crime, or as to count: 1. Singular crimes, 2. Plural crimes. Singular crimes: 1 separate crime per violation. Plurality of crimes may be in the form of compound crime, complex crime, composite crime, continuous or continued crime. According to the situs or place of commission: 1. Localized crimes, 2. Transitory crimes. Localized crimes: those where all the elements took place in one jurisdiction, such as theft, homicide, or threats. Transitory crimes, also known as moving crimes, refer to those where the elements took place in different jurisdictions, such as estafa, kidnapping, or abduction. Note that crimes committed on board moving vehicles or ships are placed in this category. According to the time frame of commission: 1. Instantaneous crimes, 2. Continuing crimes. Instantaneous crimes: those which are produced or which arise at the very moment the acts of execution are performed. For example, theft, defamation, physical injuries, or bigamy. Continuing crimes: a single offense which is executed or which arose from acts performed within a span of time. For example, estafa and kidnapping. Note that a continued crime or delito continuado is different in concept from a continuing crime. A continued crime is always localized and instantaneous, but a continuing crime may be either localized or transitory. Kidnapping may be localized or continuing and transitory. The crimes of rebellion and treason are examples of continuing and transitory crimes. According to its procedural requirements for prosecution: 1. Private crimes, 2. Public crimes. Private crimes: those which cannot be prosecuted de officio, those which require that the offended party file a complaint for the criminal case to be instituted. These are exclusively the crimes against chastity and the crimes of adultery and concubinage, but not rape. Public crimes, those which do not require the intervention of the offended party and which may be instituted, investigated, and prosecuted on complaint of any member of the public or law enforcement agency, according to whether the crime produces civil liability. 1. Victimless crimes. 2. Crimes with private victims or offended party. Victimless crimes, those which do not result to any injury to a private person, such that no civil liability may be imposed on the accused. Crimes with private victims or offended parties, those where the injury or damage to a person is the essence of the crime, and where a civil liability may be imposed upon the accused, according to motive or goal. 1. Ordinary or common crimes. 2. Political crimes. Ordinary or common crimes, those committed for personal or private reasons. Political crimes, those which involve the use of force, violence, terror, fraud, deception, economic pressure, or any other illegal means to create, maintain, or enhance the power, interest, or ideology of a group, organization, or institution to the detriment of or destruction of other rival groups, often causing fear in and victimization of innocent persons. According to division. 1. Formal felonies. 2. Material felonies. 3. Those which do not admit frustrated stage. Formal felonies, those which are always consummated. Material felonies, those which have various stages of execution. To better discuss each classification, we will have a separate video for some of the classification of felonies. For our next video, I will further discuss the stages of execution or commission of felonies. Subscribe ka sa channel na to para sabay-sabay natin abutin ang ating mga pangarap. Just comment your questions if there's any and we will try to answer them. Thank you!